these idiots are for real. I thought they were kidding around. Now I've seen like 20 different clips where they're like, oh, big snowstorm in the East Coast. What happened to global warming? It doesn't seem very warm out there now. I'm like, hey, come on, you please don't tell me that you're this dumb. But of course they are. And what's more important is they think that their audience is really dumb. And they think, well, this is going to be easy to trick them on this issue. Snow, not warm. Too easy. Now, of course, let's start with the basics. There's a difference between weather and climate for people who don't understand. Weather is something that happens in a very small period of time. Like today, the weather is cloudy, right? Climate is something that happens over a large period of time. The climate of the Earth in a year, in the last 10 years, etc. For example, in the last 10 years, we had the warmest decade in recorded history. So the fact that we had the warmest decade in recorded history is not negated by one snowstorm in the middle of February on the East Coast. And understand that the climate change at this point is fairly small. It's a little over 1 degree difference. Now, if it gets to 4 degrees, that's an enormous difference and will cause tremendous fluctuation in weather patterns and will have enormous consequences throughout the world, ice caps melting, et cetera, et cetera. But a little over 1 degree is what we have now in terms of change, in terms of it getting warmer. Now, so on a given day in Washington, when let's say it would be 24 degrees outside, even if climate change applied to every single day, right, which it doesn't because the weather fluctuates all the time throughout the seasons, throughout the year, et cetera. I'm telling you the most obvious things, but apparently people don't get it, right? You got to tell it in a simple way to the Republicans. So even if it applied every single day, instead of being 24 degrees, it'd be 25 degrees. And you'd still get snow. You see what I'm saying? Okay. It doesn't mean because you have global warming that it's never going to snow anymore. And it's not a 20-degree difference. It's not a 30-degree difference. If it was, we would already be in more trouble than you could imagine, right? So these are the reasons why you could still have a snowstorm. Now, some people make the argument that global warming or climate change actually makes the snowstorms even more extreme. You know, I'm not sure I'm 100% sold on that, but they do have a good case. One of the things is that it's not that it makes the weather colder and hence the snow storm bigger. No, it increases, actually ironically, by the weather being slightly warmer, it increases the precipitation in the air so that when it does snow, it snows more. So that's interesting. And, you know, it hasn't happened in the Great Lakes area yet, but it's actually apparently more likely to happen in that area because you have the slightly warmer weather. Plus, that causes the ice to melt from the Great Lakes, and that causes even more precipitation, leading to storms that are larger where you get more snow, right? So that's a good and interesting case to be made for that. It doesn't mean that any particular snowstorm is going to be larger than another, right? Because it depends on the day, the season, et cetera, et cetera. But I just wanted to make the obvious point that because there's a snowstorm in Washington doesn't mean that their global warming isn't true. And the Fox guys are going ballistic, man. Every one of them, Hannity, they're strutting. They're like, they think they have a good point. They're like, oh yeah, what happened? Snowstorm, Libs, Al Gore. And you're like, God, man, you are just so pathetic. For people who know anything, they look so painfully dumb. But the Fox News audience is like, oh man, zinger, Hannity got him. It just makes me feel kind of sad and amused for them at the same time.